I'm Madeline Harvey, and thank you for hanging out with me today. Yeah, it's going to be a really great video. So I thought we would take a look at the crazy notion of what it means to be a wind acoustic instrument. As a singer, we are wind acoustic instruments. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't really know what that means, or they don't really know how to leverage that to really work for them. So today we're going to get in there and we're going to explore it. We're going to experience more range, more pitch control, more tone consistency, more tone quality. The list just goes on and on and on. So let's just dive right into it, shall we? I want you to imagine that your range that consists of notes from here to there, right? Each note is its own rung on a ladder, meaning each note will be in a very different acoustic space. And it's the breath that carries the vibrations into that space. Now that's kind of hard business. Because if you've ever played a wind instrument, like when I was in 6th grade, I played the flute for all of like 2 weeks, and I was like, this is not for me. But it's like I had to focus a lot of air just to be able to create any sort of steady pitch, and that's kind of where we're at. We've got to be able to focus a nice, consistent, steady, even flow of air in order to center and control our pitch and our tone. Now, a lot of times what happens with singers is that they know that there are certain pockets or certain pitches in their range, and they get a little worried about them because, again, they know that something is happening in their voice that they can't quite control. So they either double down and grab a hold of it, reinforcing muscle tension, or they just go ahead and flip into the next register. They sort of jump over that acoustic space. So what we're going to do today is a very, very simple exercise that is designed to expose everything. So having said that, I want you to calm down. It's okay, but it is going to get weird. It is going to get weird because the very idea that we're going to expose things in your acoustics means that you're going to find something that's going to go a little wily. It's going to get a little wobbly, and that's okay. So we've got this idea that your range is like a ladder, and each note is a different rung of the ladder. And we also know that there are certain rungs of that ladder that are broken, that we just sort of jump over, or they're weak. So we're going to send the breath into those spaces and reinforce them. We're going to strengthen them. My favorite way to do this is what I call target practice. We're just basically going to sigh, and we're going to sigh on pitch, and we're going to start kind of low, mid, low, and then we're just going to move through just over an octave. We're not going to get crazy today. We're just going to get into the exploring of it. We're going to use a very neutral vowel, H-U-H. Go ahead and say that with me on a sigh. Notice how you didn't have to move your throat, your jaw, or your tongue in order to create the sound. You just moved only the air. Aha! There's our objective. Only the air moves. We don't have to distort or demand like, we don't have to do any of that craziness. We're just moving the air. So that means that it's going to kind of be a blah kind of tone, an unfinished, very neutral tone, right? So H-U-H, we're going to sigh and we're going to discover our resonating ladder. Now, your resonating ladder might be different from mine. You might notice that this note is in a very different spot in your body as it is in mine, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this discovery. So I'm going to play this A. I just want you to hear it. Now here's the big takeaway. I don't want you to sing it. I don't want you to assess it. I don't want you to try to demonstrate your vocal quality. I just want you to sigh it out. As neutral and as free as possible, okay? We're going to do this 3 times. The objective is to let the air tell you where it needs to go, right? You're not going to put anything anywhere. So here's your mantra. Observe, but don't control. Observe, but don't control. Just relax. Keep your jaw, your tongue, and the back of your throat nice and soft. And just sigh. Again. Again. Next note. Different rung of the ladder. Totally different space. So don't try to make this B flat feel the same as the A. It's going to be in a different spot, okay? Again. Again. All you're doing is exhaling. You're not trying to protect the integrity of the tone or the quality of the pitch or any of that. You're just going to sigh. And in your sighing, you're going to set in motion a steadiness of exhale that will center the pitch. So if you notice that it's wobbling, it could very easily be one of two things. One is that we're on a rung of the ladder that might be a little unfamiliar for you. Or two, there might be an inconsistency in the flow of your exhale, which again is why we're doing it 3 times. So if we do it again and again and again, it empowers the muscles that govern the breath process. They learn how to stabilize, okay? It's just like doing yoga. You are working the stabilizing muscles. So here we go, again. 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 Also want to encourage you, don't employ any vibrato. Keep the tone as straight as possible. We want a nice, even, athletic, steady flow of breath. Good. Now we're not trying to place the voice anywhere. The big idea is that you stay calm, you stay nice and still, keep your jaw, tongue, and back of your throat nice and soft, and let the air tell you where it needs to go. Okay? I'm just here to remind us of that. Keep the breath going. Keep yourself sighing. So far, so good. So far, so good. Yeah? Very good. So A flat. I'm just going to go ahead and tell on myself. Right there. That's a little bit of my nemesis. That's what I like to call the axis note. It is the part in my range where my voice goes from being mouth dominance into a nose dominance. Hear that? Right? So again, the idea is not to ignore those rungs of the ladder. The nose needs to play an equal part to your mouth and needs just as much conditioning. It's like, think of this as like conditioning as your mouth spaces do. So what we're going to do is we're going to bow the head a little bit. This allows us to maintain our neutral throat, meaning that throat doesn't need to go, oh, ee, none of that. It doesn't have to move. It doesn't have to start pulling at the tone. Neither does the jaw or the throat. We're bowing the head to lessen the influence of those things. And we're narrowing the throat, which allows the breath to flow upward and into the nose in a much more manageable way. So let's say we bow. I can feel that I can get a little bit more focus to my tone when I bow it, rather than just going, right? No, that's not how it would normally play out. But whenever there is an axis note, that tends to be the most vulnerable, the weakest singular pitch in the entire range, because again, that's the note that turns the voice over. So we're going to bow the head and target practice. Aim your air into that spot. Now, you're not placing your voice, you're just letting the air, what's the word I'm looking for? Pour into your face. Again. 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 Now here's the idea. The idea is that only the breath moves. What that means is that the jaw's not moving, the tongue's not moving, the throat's not moving. All those things are compensatory devices in this exercise. That means they will try to overcompensate, they will try to interfere with that column of breath. And the whole point of today's exercise is to take everything away from your voice so that you can feel the steady flow of air that feels like a sigh as it goes into a very specific acoustic space. Now you can practice this with a song as well. You can take, let's say, the first line or line by line of a song. Take the words out and sigh it extremely slow. Whatever you can do slow, you can do fast. And the idea is that this is going to reinforce the way that your breath focuses itself, the way that the muscles that govern the breath focus the breath. It will also reinforce an intelligence, an intense muscle memory intelligence about your acoustic spaces. And this is going to give you so much more range, so much more power, so much more spontaneity, so much of everything that you want as a singer. So don't move, only the air moves. H-U-H, keep it sigh, keep it light, and target practice. That is the whole point of practice, is in being consistent with your aim. This is going to take you right into some kind of scary places in your range, but don't be afraid. Have a spirit of adventure, have a spirit of curiosity, and be still and let the air tell you where it wants to go. So there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. And if you have any questions about today's video, please be sure to leave them in the comments portion of today's video. I love y'all. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.